Hi guys, this is Stephen Moore. This is my video audition for the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. Hi, this is Stephen Moore. I'd like to start by telling you a little bit about myself. I was born in Mesa, Arizona, and I'm 18 years old. I graduated from Humanities and Science Institution in Tempe, Arizona in 2010, and never really understood exactly what I would want to do. I remember in 5th grade I was in a play, and I was really excited about it. I studied a lot about it. I tried to get into my character, as the best as a 5th grader could, and it was the day of rehearsal, and I tried out, and I thought I did pretty well. And I remember getting off stage and running into my best friends that, from the get-go, thought it was pretty weird that I was in a play, and they were laughing at me, and it kind of it stuck with me. It made me feel embarrassed about myself. I was really hesitant about going back to school. I was like, oh God, like, that's so embarrassing. And I just remember it was just a whole big deal in my head, when in actuality it was, I was in 5th grade, and it wasn't really that big of a deal. But from there on forward, I was like, I'm never getting in front of that. Like, I'm never going to put myself in a position like that again. But I have a buddy, he's one of my best friends, and he's a student at Scottsdale Community College for their film program. And it was about a year ago, we were hanging out at his house, and he had a project due the following day. And he had no actors, he had no one to help him, and kind of procrastinated on the whole thing. And it was me and him over at his house, and basically he asked me to do it. And never really thought about it. I know it wasn't a stage. There's not a lot of people. It's just me and the camera, and him, of course. And what he told me was what it was basically about. It was kind of a black comedy, and told me to, like, not really talk, just show. I was gonna narrate my voice over. So as the shots as we were filming, I was supposed to just sit there and release emotions through my body, and I thought it was such a weird concept. I didn't know exactly how to do it, but we did it, and it actually turned out very well. I was pleased with it. I think he got like a A-, B+ or something like that, so pretty cool. But from there on forward, that whole following year up to now, we've been making short films, and like 10-minute, 15-minute long films, and a lot of dark comedy. And also we're doing like a lot of avant-garde kind of films where there's not a lot of definition, or like you can't identify the storyline like instantly. It's very vague and very kind of different, where it's just more scenery kind of views, a lot of good shots of lighting and all that sorts of stuff. And I really enjoy that as well, because it's just different. It's not just all about the dialogue, all about how we're gonna make you guys laugh and all that. It's just more of just a sensible thing for the mind. It just looks good and looks great. So I mean, it's just a different thing that we've been doing for a couple months now, and we've had a couple good films that we enjoyed. Anyways, the reason why I chose the Academy is because I read a lot of reviews online, and I heard that the teachers really do care, and they work individually with the students and try to find their strengths and weaknesses. I guess my goals are to, first one, to get accepted into the Academy, to see what I can do with the acting, and to try to grow and really be motivated and to achieve what I want to achieve. Anyways, thank you for taking the time to look at this application, and I appreciate it very much. Hi, this is Stephen Moore. This is the comedic part of the audition. This is a scene from the play Good Evening. Roger, here's your mother's signet ring. She wanted you to have it and wear it for her. It took me 2 hours to get it off her bloody finger. And if you wouldn't mind wearing this black armband in memory of your mother, I know she would be pleased because she sewed it especially for you. Roger, your mother left this life as she lived it, screaming her bloody head off. I remember it very well. It was a Wednesday afternoon. Uncle Ralph had just come in for a cup of tea. We hadn't seen him in 20 years, and, you know, we were talking about how we'd walk off the cliffs at the Lay-on-Sea to watch the boats come in. Boring bugger, that Ralph. Once every 20 years is good enough for me. Anyways, your mother was lying there very quietly, very still, almost at rest. And suddenly, without a word of lie, she bolted upright and screamed, "Ah!" Both false teeth hit the ceiling. That was it. Roger, your mother never did anything at halves. Both sets hit the light bulb on top of the ceiling. The light bulb came to the ground and crashed. Matron came running in. She slipped on the broken glass, hit her head on the bedpost, killed outright. Nurse Avia, hearing the commotion, came roaring in from the President Roosevelt Memorial Ward. She tripped over Matron's dead body, fell out the window, and she fell 5 stories onto a car that was coming into the forecourt. There were 2 passengers in their car. It was an open car. She killed herself and the 2 passengers. The weight of the 3 dead bodies took that car roaring into the catering department. It killed 9 nurses and knocked 10 orderlies into a boiling vat of potatoes. Well, naturally, the valve on the vat got stuck, causing a tremendous explosion and collapsed the 2nd and 3rd floor. You can imagine what that did to the 1st floor. Anyway, son, not to bore you with details, suffice to say I was the sole survivor. 987 people were wiped out in a flash because of your mother's teeth. This is Stephen Moore. This is the dramatic part of the audition. This is Romeo and Juliet, Act 2, Scene 2. But soft, with light through yonder window breaks. It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she, but not her maid, since she is envious. Her vessel livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady, oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, as she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me who she speaks. 2 of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in her spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in their head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heaven would through the weary rain stream so bright that the birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek. Thank you, guys.